Welcome back, YouTube, to Serranosgarage. Today we're going to finish sanding on this 92 Honda. What we're going to try to do is get all this clear coat off. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this thing because, like I said, it's just going to be a scratch and shoot. I'm not even going to put it in primer. So we're just going to sand it all down, get it looking good for paint, using some 400 grit. We'll knock off all these edges, get these tight edges by hand, and then we'll shoot it. We're going to shoot it black. So if you guys can see, I hope you can see it good, but right here the clear has come off. And this is the clear coat down here. That's why it's so shiny down below here, and it's so dull up here. And these cars were notorious for the clear coat coming off. It would chip away, as you can see right here. It would start chipping away on these edges, and then before you know it, it would just lose all of it. Didn't help that it was sitting in the sun. And if you see these stainless steel pieces right here, these were actually black. You can kind of see the black coating that was over the top of them, but that's eroded away too. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to shoot all that with the paint as well. And like I said, this car is going to be for my personal use anyways, and it's just going to be a parts runner. Might say Serranosgarage on the side, something like that. I just need it to look a little bit better than this if we're going to be cruising around all over the place, you know what I'm saying? So let me get my mask on and we'll get started. Okay guys, what we're using here is a Hercules sander or DNA. Cheap DNA, probably 50 bucks at
Harbor Freight?
Yeah, Harbor Freight. Sorry about that. At Harbor Freight. I've got another one in there, but it's wireless, and they just die too much. And I don't really have a good compressor to run one for long periods of time with air. So I bought this electric one, and it seems to be working really, really good. I like it a lot. So for 50 bucks, I mean, if it breaks after I finish this car, to me it was worth it. The paper that I'm using, well, it's not really paper, it's like sand. They call it sand net. It's by Diablo, and it's an actual net. You can see through it. It's not a sandpaper. It's like a gridded net, and it works pretty good. Like, you can see that it does have some grit to it, but once it fills up like that, it just loses its grit. So if you take it back off and just kind of whack it around a little bit, it comes right back out, and then you could go about using it again. But what I found is that it gets spots in it where it's really soft. I know you can't see it, you just can't feel it, but I can feel where it's not so gritty anymore, even though it's cleaned out. They just don't seem to last very long. But so far so good. One of the other things I wanted to explain to you guys, that I mean, I don't know if it's the right way or not, but it's the way that I do it. Like I said, I'm not a painter. I had a buddy that had a paint shop, and I did a little bit with him back in the day. But I just paint my cars. I don't paint anybody else's cars. I just paint my cars. All this right here used to be clear coat. You can see the line, and it goes up to here. And if you look over here, you can actually see the clear coat still there because I haven't sanded that. But the line right here is now very smooth, as to where over here it's really, you can feel the lip. It's really rigid. It's got a ridge on it. But over here, it's sanded down. Now, if I was just to go over here and just go in one motion like this, it won't break that ridge down very good. But if I go in like this way, left and right, up and down, and then like a crisscross pattern, it seems to take it down a lot quicker and get it a lot smoother. You never really want to hold the DA like this at an angle. I did do that right here because I just wanted to see how deep that was. But now I can feel that there's a little bit of a hole there, and that's exactly what will happen. If you're up here and you go like this with your sander and you dig into something, you're gonna have that indentation. So you don't really want to do that. I'm not too worried about it with this car, but just some tips that I found helpful in doing these cars or painting the cars that I do. It's really, really smooth. needs to be knocked down a little bit right here. And of course these holes, I'll just keep going over them like this, back and forth, until I get them as smooth as I can. Like I said, this ain't no show car, so it's not that big of a deal, but I'll move along and keep on sanding, bust it out. I did leave that window over there unmasked. I have to kind of drive this in and out of the shop, so that's why this window isn't covered. The fact that I have to be able to stick my head out the window and see where the hell I'm going when I'm moving the car in or out. So back to sanding, guys. Alright guys, I got to do the bottom half of this car all the way around, pretty much from here down. The bumpers, front and back. Get it all off. I got to knock all this off as well. So I'll be using this creeper to get around in the bottom. Basically just lay on it, slide myself around, and go all the way around the car. Get that part knocked out.
Unless you get your hair caught.
Unless I get my hair caught. And that's why I have my wife out here, because that's happened. Gets caught in a wheel, and then I'm stuck to the freaking thing, and I have to call for 911 help for my wife to come out and get me unstuck from the freaking roller. But anyways, yeah, she'll be out here in case that happens. I'll try to remember to tuck my hair in. I'm trying to get in that habit. Doesn't always happen. But anywho, that's what we're gonna do, and I'll try to keep my hair out of there. Oh, and my chains, tuck them all away. All right, here we go. One of the other great cheats is using a desk chair with wheels. You sit on it as you're sanding, especially on something this low, and just push yourself across as you're knocking it out. Again, everybody probably does that, but I'm just giving you some knowledge you can't get in college. As far as this goes, we'll start knocking this down now. Here's another helpful tip. We don't necessarily need it right now, but in some situations you do, when you have a bunch of extension cords out. You can buy these at Harbor Freight as well. You leave little tape on them.
Oh, I thought they were a magnet. Oh, they are.
And you set the magnets out like that, however you want them. Keeps your cord out of the way.
Ta-da!
Here we go. We get a little low car like this, and like, you know, who knows, everybody might do this, but this is just one of the things that I do. Put a jack under it and jack it up, and then you get it off the ground, and it makes it way easier. Plus it gives you a different angle, as you can see. It makes it a little bit easier to sand, especially when you're cruising around in that little chair over there, sliding around. We're getting it, we just ain't got it yet. If you know a famous YouTuber that uses that same quote, he probably invented it. We're getting it, we just ain't got it yet. Put it down in the comments if you know who that is. All right, guys, back to sanding. All right, guys, we got this baby all sanded down finally. So we'll have to do some masking, and you can see some of the masking's coming off, but to do some masking and prepping, and then we'll get this sucker sprayed black and see what it turns out like. It's not going to be perfect, like I told you guys. That's not what we're shooting for, but I'll have some I'll have a before and after picture of what it looked like when I got it, opposed to what it'll look like after it's painted, so you guys get an idea of what a little elbow grease will do for you. And we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.